what if everybody's at a major again? Today we're doing part 7 to what if Deku could use Haki. And now let's get to the intro.
I'm not the one you wanna fuck with. Late nights messing up my sleep, so I'm flustered. Taking out aggression with my pen because I trust it. Right in front of get myself a lamb color custom. For the game, leave him hanging by his chain. Click bang, feeling rage, feeling fire in my brain, feeling sane. And it's slowly feeling flames, feeling fire from my brain. Bringing more, please still, no glory.
Okay, so last time we left off, I explained what Deku was going to do, the training, or who's going to train him in that part of the 10 months before the UA entrance exam. So that has happened. Deku has learned some new martial arts and combined it with his grandfather's martial arts from Gunhead. I think that's his name. Yeah, Gunhead, the same hero who taught Uraraka how to fight and stuff. So after that, Gran Torino was also helping him how to control his One for All. And on the side, he's been doing his own training with his Haki so he can actually keep that leveled up. Okay, so this is the morning of the entrance exam. He's already swallowed all my tear, so he already has One for All. So, I mean, why would he not have One for All and practice how to control One for All? So it doesn't make sense. Oh, and guys, soon I'm gonna be getting my equipment or the graphics card, or no, the graphics display soon, like probably tomorrow or maybe the day after that. So I'm really excited. Okay, so Deku actually goes to every single person he was trained by and says, "Thank you for training me. I'll do my best in the entrance exam." So first off, he goes to Gunhead's house because he's the closest, because he works in the city, am I right? So he goes there and Gunhead's really awake and he's like, "Oh, I was just baking some cookies," and he has this pink apron on and he's like, "Oh, that's so like you. Anyways, I'm going to the entrance exam. Wish me luck." And then Gunhead's like, "Oh yeah, wait." And he pulls out a good luck charm that's pink and he gives it to Deku. And he's like, "Oh, thank you. I'll keep it in my bag and let nobody see it. Anyways, see ya, I'm heading off." And Gunhead waves him bye and he starts cooking his cookies. And then he runs off to All Might's house and he's like, "Okay, good luck, dude. Good job. Now go win that preliminary or theory exam." And then they both wave bye and he goes to the UA entrance exam. So he meets Bakugo there and Bakugo's like, "Oh, it's you." He's like, "Oh, I forgot to thank you last time you saved me from the sludge villain." And he gives him a packet of guns and he's like, "Here." And he accepts it. He's like, "Oh, thanks, Kachan." And then Bakugo's like, by the way, what's your quirk? It's pretty weird. It's like some kind of anti-quirk or something." So Deku's like, "Okay, let's go inside and then we can talk." And then Bakugo's like, "Okay, fine, whatever." And Bakugo's like keeping his distance because he's never seen his friend before in a long time and he doesn't know how to act around him. But since he does have a really strong quirk and he did save him, I think it's alright. Okay, I can accept him as a friend. So their relationship is way better and I think it's gonna change as soon as they go to UA, because when they have that rivaling, like the fitness exam, and they're gonna be in opposite teams in the hero versus villain exam, things are gonna change a bit. But then he's gonna realize how strong Deku is and he's like, "Fine, if I need to be better than All Might, then my first goal is to beat Deku. And only then I can consider myself a hero." So that's not gonna happen until they actually go to UA. Right now it's just the entrance exam. They sit down, they're talking, but then they're stopped by President Mike and Ida because they're talking while the teacher is explaining. Baku's about to yell at him, but then Deku stops him. He's like, "Okay, Kachan, we'll talk about this after the exam." And then Deku stands up and says, "Sorry," and let's continue. President Mike continues to explain all the point system and which robots explain which and what their points are. The 0-point robot, just look at it and run. So everybody gets up to do the theory exam. Everybody does amazing. I mean, not everybody. Some people do fail because they're just too dumb to do it. But Deku and Bakugo do pretty much the same. Deku does get a little less points because he's been training all his life to actually take his quirk out of, or that Haki power outside his body and then learn it. So he doesn't really have to study that much because in this What If series, he doesn't study. All he does is train. But you have to give something up if you want to become stronger or become smart. So then, let's move on to the the practical exam. First, Bakugo and Deku start stretching next to each other and Ida comes up to them and then basically tells them that they shouldn't have been talking in the hall because President Mike was actually explaining some important stuff. Baku has enough of this. He's like, okay, this guy has been annoying me ever since we got to the hall. I'm gonna beat him up. Deku already knows what's gonna happen because he has observation haki and he knows Baku like a book. So he stops Baku and says, "We're really sorry, we won't do that ever again." Actually, the story is me and him are really old friends and we just met at the UA entrance exam and want to talk about some stuff. Well, then you can talk about that after the exam because you're threatening everybody else's results by talking about your past and stuff. Then Izuku bows again and he says, sorry, we will not do that anymore. And then Ito walks away. Baku's like, why did you hold me back? I could have just ended it pretty quick. You didn't have to say sorry. Well, Bakugo, to be a hero, you have to apologize sometimes, and we were in the wrong for talking while the teacher was talking or explaining some stuff. So it's kind of unfair for us to actually backfire on him because we were doing the wrong thing. Baku's like, oh, whatever. And then President Mike says, okay, everybody, the practical exam is about to start. In 3, 2, 1, the gates open really loud, and then everybody charges in, and then Baku and Deku's like, oh crap, we left behind. Then they start running. Deku's like, okay, let's start. And then he charges in front of Deku, beating Ida and his speed easily. And he's like, what? I thought this kid was just a troublemaker. I underestimated him. And then Bakugo uses his explosion quirk to catch up to Ida, and he's like, I'm gonna beat you. Ida's like, god damn, I thought they were just troublemakers, but they're actually pretty good. So Deku just starts destroying monsters like easily with his full cowling and his father's power or grandfather's power, the Haki. Since these are robots, Conqueror's Haki is not going to work on them, but Observation Haki does because that worked on anything. Zoro did it when those rocks were falling on top of him and he had to find out a place where to dodge, so he did. So it can work on other non-living objects. So Deku's just like dodging them easily. It's like he knows what they're about to do, and then he just kicks them in their weak spot easily. They're cut in half, done. Then he hears this really familiar voice. He's like, what? Is that Uraraka? And then he sees Uraraka trapped underneath this giant piece of metal, and he's like, oh no, the 0-point robot's gonna crush her. Deku gets really mad because his friend is about to get crushed, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna let that happen. He charges up 100%. He charges 100% and is like, he's alright because he can control 100% because his body is strong enough. And then he charges up 100% in his right arm because he's in the air now, and he punches the robot. The robot goes flying to the second testing round, and then a bunch of heroes from the command room or the judging room where the judges are, they go to the second block and to see if any other students that were in there got actually hurt. Thank God nobody actually got hurt in the second block. Nobody actually went that far out into the testing grounds, so no one actually got hurt. Deku lands and he's completely fine. Nothing is broken, nothing, anything. And then he's like, Uraraka, are you okay? Oh, and she's like, oh, Deku, nice to meet you. I actually saw you at the testing hall, but I didn't want to interrupt you because you were sitting so far away, so I just thought I'll just meet you after the exam. Everybody's shocked at the kid's power. Baku's like, what? When did he get this strong? Did he get this strong while I was just goofing off these 10 months? Damn it! Deku pulls up Uraraka, and Uraraka dusts herself off, and she basically says, oh, it's been a while, right? And Deku's like blushing a little, but then he's like, yeah, it's been a while. And then President Mike says, you have 30 seconds left. Urara's like, what, 30 seconds? I need to get points. See ya, Deku. And Deku's like, oh, okay, bye, Uraraka. And Deku gets another few points after that, and Deku scores at the top of the preliminary exams. Oh no, why do I keep on saying preliminary? But the practical exam, he gets number 1 because he got safety points and he also has attack points. Baku is second up behind him, and then everything's the same. Uraraka's also good. She's like somewhere 4th or 3rd-ish because of her observation haki. I was about to say conquerors, but she doesn't have conquerors or armament. So after this, Uraraka catches up to Deku and Bakugo. She doesn't know Bakugo, but then she's like, hey Deku, been a while, right? And Deku's really blushing because Uraraka's on him. He's like, oh yeah, it's been a while. And Bakugo's like, who's she? And Deku's like, oh, she's an old friend at the place where my grandpa is. He was training me over there, and he also trained Uraraka. And then soon we became family friends, and you know what I mean. Oh, I see. My name's Bakugo Katsuki. I'm Deku's childhood friend. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Uraraka Ochako or Ochako Uraraka. So they go home, everybody gets their letters or results in a few days. Deku's really happy that he got number 1. He goes to Gunhead's house, he shows him. Gunhead praises him with his pink apron on. I don't know why he always has his pink apron on, but whatever. He goes to All Might's house and he's like, look, I got number 1 in the practical exam. And All Might cheers him up and he's like, good job, kid. Here's the next training schedule. Work hard and no slacking off. And Deku smiles back and he's like, got it, bye. But first I need to go visit an old friend. And he's like, yeah, whatever, but make sure to finish that training schedule thing. Got it, see you, All Might. See you, kid. And that's it, guys. I hope you guys like this What If series. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. And as always, Anime Junkie out.